Greetings everybody, I am Lobo and welcome to Luna. This is episode 162 of my Minecraft survival series, and there is a pig over here. Hi Piggy, what you doing? This is not the preferred route to get up here, you know that, right? Okay, well it's very dangerous where you are, so I'm gonna help you out. Let me go ahead and see if I can free the piggy before he gets chopped. Oh, so close, so close. Alright, so this, yeah, that works, that does it. Alright, so piggy's free, and my house is now back together. Alright, so you stay out of trouble now, and you guys, please refrain from messing with the animals from here on out. Uncool. So, as mentioned in the last episode, my current goal is to work my way through some past projects and current projects, get those kind of finished before we start on anything new. I'm trying to play catch up here, I guess. And we have a project over here at the approach inn over in our spawn area that needs to be completed. So as we make our way through all the amenities and areas at the approach inn, we come to the arcade, which is the secret entrance to L.A.W.L Headquarters, which will eventually be down here, or hopefully be down here by the end of this episode. Now, before we get started building, we need to ask ourselves a question. So we know how we actually get down here into L.A.W.L Headquarters, right? The question we have to ask ourselves before we start building is, how exactly are we supposed to get out? Now, I'm thinking we can use a slimeblock launcher to kind of catapult ourselves up through the hole at the bottom of the arcade through that trapdoor, right? But before we do that, we need to make sure that trapdoor is actually open. Otherwise, we're not going to get out. We're just going to give ourselves a concussion. So I think I have all the basic mechanics of this done. It's just a matter of fine tuning it. So what you can see here is the trapdoor will open, then the slime block will shoot us up, right? Theoretically, that's what we want to happen. Door opens, slime block goes up. And that should bounce us through the opening here. And I think this should maybe work, but as I said, some fine tuning needs to be done. We'll go ahead and be a test dummy for this hey, check that out. That actually worked. Okay. Well, you know what? That's, oh, nope. Yep. Still needs some fine tuning. We're not done yet. All right, so I've gone through and made some modifications. So we have a pulse extender that holds the trapdoor open for a little bit longer. We have a tripwire activation mechanism rather than the button now. And everything should be timed much better than previously. So we can pop on out of here. That actually felt really good. That's nice, actually. Let's see if we can repeat the results, because that's what this thing, it needs to be dependable, right? It needs to be dependable. So boom, boom. Yeah. I'm liking it. I'm feeling good about this. All right, there's our way out. So now that that's done, we can shift focus to the actual layout of L.A.W.L HQ, L.A.W.L Headquarters, Lunies against Wolfins Laboratory. And originally I was thinking that this was going to be a small room, you know, kind of a small back room dealy where we can make secret plans and stuff like that. But once we got this thing built, I was thinking, you know, once I drop down through this trapdoor, I kind of want to look at something a little bit bigger, a little bit more of an impressive operation, right? So we're going to make it a little bit bigger than I originally planned to. I mean, not huge. It's not going to be huge. I basically want it big enough to impress, but also I want it small enough that I can build it in one episode. So I'm thinking we're going to go with 2 floors and multiple areas per floor with multiple operations going on in each of those areas, right? And each of these sections could be in charge of a particular thing in the fight against Wolfins Laboratory, right? So we could have like an operations center. We could have a map room with surveillance, reconnaissance on Wolfins Laboratory, see what they're up to. We could have a research center where if we can manage to get our hands on any of Wolfins Laboratory's research, we could have our own scientists take a peek at it, let us know what they're really up to. We could have guest housing, like we have a little housing area in case any of our assets need to lay low for a little while. There's all kinds of possibilities. And I know maybe that sounds a little bit ambitious considering that L.A.W.L as it stands currently consists of 2 members, myself and Wilfred, but rest assured, Wilfred is out there right now recruiting new members as we speak. Now, as far as our block palette goes, I'm thinking since this is built in the approach, since L.A.W.L HQ is in the approach, I kind of want to stick with some approach aesthetics, and I do remember using sand for the walls inside the Explorer's Lodge. I think that might be a good choice here as well. I'm also thinking we'll go with some spruce, possibly some other wood types, you know, just to kind of contrast the grays and the greens of Wolfins Laboratory. And that is going to leave us with walls that look a little something like this right here. Let me get some light on it, like this right here. Yeah, I think that'll work. You know, kind of simple, but it'll work. So we're going to focus on getting our walls into L.A.W.L HQ. We need to carve out L.A.W.L HQ, figure out the layout of all that stuff first, though. And that is where a beacon might actually come in handy, get some haste going, you know? And I think we're ready to go ahead and get started. So at this point, why don't we go ahead and call Wolford on over, put on a little bit of music, and I missed my stop. Missed my stop. That's embarrassing. Let's go ahead and call Wolford on over, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. We have the basic structure of L.A.W.L Headquarters now in here. As it stands, it's currently just a bunch of empty rooms, but for the rest of this video, our goal is going to be to get these rooms built up, completed, decorated, etc. And I think for, just to make this a little bit easier to understand what we're doing here, I'm going to take it just section by section. And I guess it makes sense to start here where we first enter L.A.W.L HQ in the lobby or common area, lobby/common area. I think the first thing we're going to want to do is offer a bit of structural support to our stairs. And we're going to be using that strip spruce to also add some decorative elements to it as well, just kind of tying everything in together, right? Between all these things, we're going to need some fence posts, I think, because we don't want any members plummeting off the balcony, right? That wouldn't be good. We're not Wolfins Laboratory. We actually care about our members, I would dare say that Wolfins Laboratory is probably not OSHA compliant. So maybe in our quest against them, we could possibly file a complaint. Now, looking at our walls, they're striking me as, pretty plain, kind of boring. So maybe what we could do is make some more use of our strip spruce logs and run them up as structural supports in the corners and probably elsewhere as well. I think I like that. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of. It works smarter, not harder, Lobo. Just going from the bottom And then it's just a matter of letting all the sand fall. That's much easier. And we're also going to want to carry that strip spruce into the middles of the walls as well. And I'm thinking an easy way to do that would just be to outfit each of the doorways leading into each of the different sections with this strip spruce and just have that be our doorway, right? Instead of doing like additional supports and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that could work. So, I mean, pretty simple. You know, the room itself is done. We got floors, we got walls, we got ceiling. The next thing we need to do, though, is actually furnish it. We're going to need some seating and lighting in here. And I think to build those, we're going to just go ahead and switch to a different type of wood. And after looking at my options, I kind of decided on the birch. I'm leaning towards the birch, which, you know, I use a lot just due to the trapdoors. I really like the trapdoors for both seating and lighting purposes. Now, as far as their lighting applications go, I've already stuck some sea lanterns in the wall, and they're kind of situated behind that second trapdoor. It's already in there, right? So what I'm viewing these as is kind of like light emitting panels, and this is a technique that we've established in Luna. We established it a while back at Wolfins Laboratory, and I think it at least looks much better than the torches everywhere, you know? And then as far as seating applications go, our floor is on the half slab level, which means we can't just use stairs to make our seats, but we can place our trapdoors down in such a way to make benches and stuff like that. And this is something I do a lot on my half slab floors. I think it looks fairly decent. We do need to add a little bit more lighting here in the center of the room though. So as far as lighting goes, I'm thinking maybe we do some birch pillars with a little light source on top, some kind of, I don't know if those would be considered floor lamps or what. I do want to put some trapdoors around those, but I'm thinking that might be a little bit too much birch trapdoors if we do that. So possibly we'll maybe get some oak. Ow! Jeez, the nerve! The nerve! Don't be rude! Jeez. So I'm not super set on which trapdoors I'm going to use where first, because I mean they're kind of interchangeable. We could use the oak trapdoors for either seating or lighting, and I'm kind of, you know, we'll probably come back to this a little bit later in the episode, but this room is basically how I want it. Now I want to start focusing on some other areas. First, I think we're going to tackle the living quarters, which is going to consist of 4 separate rooms. So first things first, I want to go ahead and take care of our lighting situation, get rid of these torches, and we're probably just going to go with the same light panels that we used in the main area. And as far as accommodations go, we're going to keep it pretty simple because, I mean, like down here, this is just more of a hideout type situation. If you need actual accommodations and you're a member of L.A.W.L, Lunies against Wolfins Laboratory, there's the approach in upstairs, and that's, you know, going to be much, much more comfortable. Down here, we're going to keep it pretty basic. So we got our bed, we got storage, we got a desk, you know, just the essentials really. And of course, some privacy, as if the no windows wasn't private enough. And I think that should just about, what's going on here? The door forgot how to door. You went in the wrong way. Jeez, learn how to door. There we go. That's better. I abhor when doors forget how to door, but it was only that one and no more. But yeah, I think the living area is good. Next up, we're going to be focusing on accommodations of a different kind. This is the quarantined area where, you know, I'm anticipating that, you know, dealing with Wolfins Laboratory, who we know gets into some weird stuff, especially with the netherworm and all that, that we might have assets become exposed to some pretty volatile stuff. And we want a place to keep them, you know, contained so they don't infect anybody else with whatever they might come down with, right? And, you know, I realize these look like high security, like holding cells or jail cells, but you know what? I know what happens when you tangle with evil corporations, okay? We're not having any umbrella situations in Luna. You know, I mean, we have a big enough problem with normal zombies in Minecraft. We don't need any bioengineered super weapons roaming around too, right? So this is the quarantined area. We'll have a member of our staff in here tending to the needs of any of our quarantined individuals, provided they haven't turned into, you know, beast, monsters, anything like that, that's going to, you know, negatively impact the rest of L.A.W.L. Yeah, I think we go ahead and call this area finished. Now we will move onward to... Let's see, operations. I don't really want to tackle operations quite yet. Let's move upstairs. So I think next I want to go ahead and tackle our research and technology section. Because, you know, what better way to combat the evil scientists of Wolfins Laboratory than to have some benevolent scientists of our own working in here. Now, obviously, this room is a different aesthetic than the rest of L.A.W.L Headquarters, and that aesthetic is going to carry through into the furnishings of this room because we want it to be a little bit more cool, a little bit more sterile, and a little bit better lit than our other areas down here, right? So let's go ahead and get our shopping list together. I think I want to make good use of quartz in this, you know, kind of bright, kind of whites and grays, basically. We might make use of some end-rods, maybe in conjunction with the sea lanterns. A lot of redstone components to make it look all, you know, science-y. Now, end-rods are something I keep meaning to use more of. It's just I always forget they exist. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and plant like a temporary little chorus fruit farm over here in the forgotten areas of the Waterside District. We will eventually make this place look better. I will eventually get better farms for all this stuff. But you know what? This is just temporary and I want to have some on hand. But now I think we have everything we're going to need to get our research and technology section up and running. I'm going to go ahead and work on this for a little while. I mean, you guys don't need to hear me say I'm going to put a desk here and a chair here and all that stuff. So, you know, I'll bring you back here in a few minutes once we have a little bit done. Now, what research facility / science lab is complete without a bunch of flashing lights and buttons that I don't know what they do? So, let me go ahead and bring you in here. I'll show you what we got so far, and we have so far is way too much action. let me slow down that clock a little bit. All right, I think that should do it for us. So we have some research materials over here. We have various workstations. We have some samples that we're studying, pieces of the netherworm, the corruption, and stuff like that. And I think that is probably going to do it for the research center, aside from the transition into the room. So in order to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and grab some of these stone brick stairs, and we're going to make like a little step up on the outside. That way it's not an abrupt step up once you hit the actual door, right? So once this is in place, I think we can call the L.A.W.L research section complete. The next thing I want to work on is our emergency exit, because as of right now, we have one way in and one way out. And what happens if Wolfins Laboratory discovers us? You know, we need to egress and not the way that they're coming in. I mean, the Wormtail site is actually fairly close to this area, so we're going to need a quick means of escape should they find us, right? And I think having a secret door hidden in the side of this wall would probably be a really fun way to do that. So it's time to bust out the redstone box again and try to figure this out. And I think we're going to have a 2 tall by 3 wide kind of opening here. You know, the side pistons will pull back these slime blocks, which will open up each of the sides for us. Dirt kind of escaped me. We need to make sure that we don't flood the area because we are going to be running redstone under here. And then we're going to have another set of pistons on both the top and on the bottom, which are going to pull back blocks as well. So the other piston is down this way. Let me make sure I don't turn my gravel into flint right there. And then we're just going to hook all those pistons up to the same redstone signal. So once they actually get a signal, they should all close at the same time. Perfect. And if we take away that signal, they will all open. Now it's just a question of actually getting this hooked up to a switch that we can control. Now, I'd like to use a button for this, but unfortunately, a button will not keep the door open long enough for us to actually make our escape. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to add a pulse extender to this, and that should theoretically hold the door open long enough for us to get out, make our escape, and, you know, then close behind us, so that way it kind of seals the evidence of there being a secret entrance right here, right? So if we connect this to what we already have established, let me grab a repeater real quick. If we attach this repeater right here, we should have an operational door opening system that closes automatically behind us. So, yep, there's the opening. And then if we wait and wait, that's plenty enough time, then it closes. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and seal it back up. And as far as decorations go, we're just going to do it so it's cohesive with the rest of L.A.W Headquarters, you know. Add a little bit of seating right here, a little bit of a waiting area. Aside from that, you know, it's emergency exit. There's not too much to it. It just needs to work. So we will go ahead and do a quick escape, make sure it works. And that actually feels pretty good. That feels fine to me. And then it seals back up behind us, hiding all evidence. Perfect. Oh my goodness, where did you come from? Listen, I have time for your mess right now. Now, as far as what's left, we have our workspaces, and downstairs we have our operations center. And now I was thinking I do kind of want these areas linked up because, you know, the operations area, that's where we're going to have our meetings, our strategy sessions and stuff like that. And if we do call a meeting, I want there to be an easy way down here from the work area. Do I want it in the front or the back though? I'm thinking about putting a little staircase in here. I think maybe in the back. We'll add a little spiral staircase. That way when we do call a meeting, everybody can just get up from their desks and make their way down into the meeting area. So we'll just run a strip log from the floor up to the ceiling of the second floor and then wrap our birch half slabs around it, and that should give us plenty of room to go up. And then we can just go ahead and start getting in our light panels on both floors. Some desks and workstations up here in the workspace on the second floor. We'll get some nice comfy work chairs in here using our birch trapdoors. It's too much birch. You know what? Let's settle on a roll, a singular roll for each type of block here. So birch trapdoors, those are going to serve as our light panels. And the oak trapdoors, that's going to actually be our seating. I think that's going to work a lot better for us, so that way we don't overload on one particular texture, right? And this will of course apply to other areas of our build today as well. And now I'm feeling much better about everything. Okay, so back to the workspaces. I want to get a block to use as a divider. No, you're not what I want. You're definitely not what I want to use as a block, nor do I want to see out my emergency exit. Could you imagine trying to leave and then all of a sudden you're face to face with a creeper? No, that's an orchestrated attack. He's probably hired by Wolfins Laboratory. We can't let him report back. You need to go away. You are acting very strangely. All right. So as I was saying, we are going to get back to the workspaces, but first things first, we need to solve our mob spawning situation out here. I think that should do it. That should keep this area spawn free. So that way we can leave here in relative peace. Now, I believe where we left off was I was talking about dividers in between the workstations, and if not, well, we're putting dividers in between the workstations. I want to have them relatively colorful. That way we can, you know, just kind of brighten the atmosphere around here and keep everybody motivated. Okay, I cannot pick up this water. Oh, man. Okay, this is going to be difficult. There we go. Yeah, we'll just mix our concrete out here on the floor in the lobby. I mean, that's acceptable. This is still under construction, still a work site, right? This is acceptable. And I was going to try to add pressure plate desk mats as a finishing touch, but yeah, desks are slabs, so that's not going to work. But this is the office space now done. Next up and finally, we have the operations section, which is where we're going to be running all of our anti-Wolfins laboratory operations. Now, I think for us to be effective, we're going to need to know all of their areas of operation. We're going to need to map them out. So we're going to run a bit of aerial reconnaissance over all known Wolfins laboratory locations, including those outside of Luna itself, such as the Wolfins Aquatic Research Facility out here in the middle of the ocean, and the Eclipse Outpost, even though it is allegedly no longer in operation. And you know what I just realized? I think that was our first official L.A.W.L mission against Wolfins Laboratory, and check it out, mission accomplished. I mean, how's that for efficiency, right? Our first successful operation before L.A.W.L's Operations Center is even complete. Now imagine what we're going to be able to accomplish once this place is actually done, and you know what? We are actually almost there. I just got a few more blocks to place, and then we're going to be able to call it. So this, and that is it. The L.A.W.L Operations Center is done. L.A.W.L, Lunies against Wolfins Labs. Oh man. Now we can get into some serious investigation of all the corruption and, you know, all the nonsense and evil Wolfins Laboratory is doing, with our top priority investigation being what happened to Watchdog. We need to figure that out. Watchdog, who vanished without a trace, whose only clue we have so far is a book written by an anonymous author. Oh man, there's so much we need to discover, and we will, because I'm going to go ahead and notify Wolfred that we will be convening the first meeting of L.A.W.L Lunies against Wolfins Laboratory. Hopefully he's come up with some good recruits for this Watchdog? Watchdog, what are you doing? What? You know how many people have been worried about you? Oh my goodness. Have you been in here playing pinball the whole time? Watchdog. Oh my goodness. You know what we've done? We've established a whole secret organization to find you. This is incredibly anticlimactic, Watchdog. We're gonna have to talk. Well, that is an interesting turn of events I was not prepared for, but you know what? It is a happy ending. I'm just happy to have Watchdog back. And this doesn't mean L.A.W.L is finished. No, we're going to keep investigating Wolfins Laboratory because we do know that they are up to some stuff. The only difference is now we have 3 members instead of 2. But that's going to do it for us today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit that little thumbs up button. If you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am L.A.W.L, and I will see you guys later.